Hello, everybody. Welcome to Information. Thanks for tuning in to this, or downloading, hopefully, this episode. We have a great show for you today. David Gborie is in the studio. We are going over some fantastic stories about semen-covered flutes found in California. And Berkeley police find $1 million worth of magic mushrooms. How about that? Thank you again. Please download us on all of your favorite platforms. Thanks to Sexpot Comedy for getting this out in the ether. And we have a great show. Tune in right now.
Can your punk ass come out to play safe? Stay in your little hole, then coward duck your head. You don't know who you be fucking with. You better off.
All right. Hey, thank you for coming in. In the studio, we are live in our, we're currently live in our LA studios, a.k.a., the building right next to the Scientology building.
Oh, yeah.
Did you notice that I'm right next to the Scientology building?
I can feel it.
It's like creepy. Like when you open the blinds, it's like, ugh.
Oh, man. There's just like slaves in there.
It's fucking weird.
Shit, LA is the weirdest town.
Right? And if you look at it from far away, it looks like it's a really high-end, nice building. But when you look at it close, it's just an old fucking building that they painted.
It looks like an orphanage.
Orphanage, yeah. Like a sad...
Like you disappear, you escape from that room, and then you slide down that air vent, and then quick, before Mrs. Pickens finds us. Because it's a British orphanage.
Of course. So, David...
We smoked a bunch of weed before this
We really
started.
did, yeah. We had a whole interview before we did this that we did not record on purpose, but for probably about an hour. In studio, David Gborie. How are you, man? Good to see you.
Good to be seen, man. I'm good. You know, I'm just out here snapping necks and cashing checks.
That's all you got to do, man.
Man, that's what they told me when I was a kid.
And it's a good thing that's working so far, it looks like.
Yeah. No, it's going okay. You know, I got multiple pairs of shoes in my room.
Fucking A.
I know, right? When you first met me,
you had a pair. Those shoes. You had the pair of shoes. The shoes.
Actually, shout out to Luke Lockfeld, who gave me a pair of shoes that I wore for a year once.
Wow. After they were already done with him, you're like, no, there's still some
I was
miles
like,
in
no, there might be a little dust on the bottle.
Now, you moved here from San Francisco.
I did move here
3 years ago, and that's where you started.
Yeah, I started
comedy. You started comedy.
I started comedy in San Francisco, but I've been out here 3 years in February. 3 years, or March. March 1st is 3 years.
And does it feel like after these 3 years so far, does it feel like that things are becoming a little more apparent, like obvious, the path seems a little more clear at this point, or are you still just as lost as you were when you came in?
You know, that's a tough question. Yeah, definitely somewhat you can clock that. I can clock that I'm doing better now than I was then. But I also, when I moved here, didn't realize how big the pool was.
Yeah. There's a lot of fucking people here
so
doing
I
this.
thought I was a lot further ahead. And then I got here and they're like, no, there's a ton of people who have what you have. Work harder, dummy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I thought, like before, I was just like, oh, I'm ahead of everybody around me. I must be doing pretty damn good. And then you get down here and you're like, what? Oh, no.
Oh, shit.
Everybody is working for TV shows? Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do. I thought I had that skill.
I thought I had that locked up. I thought I was the only guy
that was doing this.
I thought I was the only funny guy for TV. There's more?
God damn it. Now what do I do? Yeah, it's crazy when you it's crazy when you get here to think about what you're actually getting yourself into. Because
it's so stupid.
Fuck.
It's fucked.
It is just the ultimate battle against your psyche to not get beat, you know?
I'm constantly like thinking like Tom Cruise lives here, bro. What are you doing? Like, I used to have credit at the liquor store, and I'm trying to be out here in fucking where Will Smith lives. Like,
fuck.
You gotta just kind of put your blinders on as far as that shit goes.
Yeah. It's, and then you go out and, I mean, like, you see, God, there are some really bad people here, though, too.
There are some bad comedians.
They're not funny.
Yeah.
Now here's what I will say. I have said
there are
this for a
some
long
really
time.
funny comedians.
That's
though,
exactly
too.
it. I've said this for a long time that I felt like New York was always better than LA because of the comics are better, blah blah blah. But I really I have to change that because
Thank you.
because there are so many good comics here. They just are concentrated in certain areas that I hadn't really seen yet, or I just thought like, oh, this is a poppin' night. It's like no, this is always like this.
There's crushers out here,
and there's a ton of them.
I also think that I like that Los Angeles, unlike New York, doesn't have like a style indicative to. Like you aren't just like. You don't, and I felt the same way about San Francisco. I feel like you're not just listening to a comic and you're like, oh, that guy's clearly from L.A. Like, there's a lot of people doing obviously, there's a lot of
different things.
Yeah,
here.
There's a lot of hacks. Duh, that's how that shit goes.
I still think that there is a type of tone that L.A. carries.
What do you think that is?
So I think, and it's not.
This is real inside baseball. If no one listening, it's a stand-up comedy.
I'll put notes in the show description of where to fast forward to if you want to hear the news. But you are listening to a comedy show with comedians run by a comedian, so you got to expect it.
And comedy's hot right now.
Comedy's cool.
Haven't you seen Louis?
So, and really where I'm changing my opinion on this is it's not as prevalent as I thought. But I feel like that if you're not in that, like, there's a bunch of crushers here, right? If you're in that, you moved here 2 years in, or a year in, or 3 years in, and you kind of got your voice in LA. That style of, so I was driving my car today, and I got a flat tire, and I pulled over, and someone was looking at me really weird, and no one came to help me, and I just and it's like, okay, where are we getting at here?
Meandering.
I feel like
people say San Francisco comics do that too.
I feel like that doesn't happen in New York.
I bet not.
And I used to think every
those guys
comic
aren't tight on it.
they're because they won't let you be that long. And I feel like that I had this impression that when I came out here, everyone was like that.
Okay.
And I was very wrong. I was pleasantly surprised.
That's
pleasantly
good,
surprised.
Though. You got some folks out here. I'm out here holding it down.
There's a lot of cool people out here.
Yeah.
That I know. And there's a lot of acts that I've worked with too that live out here. And I'm like, these people live here and these people are great comedians. It's not...
You know what?
There's just a few people that have that meandering style.
You know what is funny to me about LA though is this is something I didn't notice as much in other cities. There are like ultra hacks in LA where you'll see somebody who's biting somebody's style who's not even like famous yet.
Okay, yeah.
And you're like, whoa, this is happening at the speed of light down here. You know what I mean? Like in San Francisco, you'd see guys who ripped off, the usual like Canaan or whatever, just guys.
Sure.
Kind of, their whole thing is being like that guy. But it's always like a famous guy. It's also always like a guy you've heard of.
Yeah.
But here, they're down here just ripping some dude who has 20K Twitter followers. And you're like, fuck, bro. It could happen to you.
It's definitely it's fun to see that, and it's fun to be like, oh, this is much more of a comedy scene than I thought. Yeah. It is still a whole bunch. It's just as much other shit that I expected, where it's like you go to New York to do just comedy and you come here to do everything else, but it's really like there is a good quality comedy scene here. It's just they have realized, like I've realized, that you can't make money as just a comedian to the extent that I want to make money at.
Doesn't that suck?
It blows.
Man?
You can't get that fame that you need to sell those seats.
You got to sell.
You got to do TV, internet, or film.
Yeah, man. And I don't know. You tell me how you do that. Let me fucking know.
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to have more downloads on this all the time and sell out 1,200 seat theaters on. Why did I say it like that? Theaters. Off of my podcast.
My boy, is the marijuana speaking.
I watched Corinne Fisher with her podcast, Guys We Fucked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've heard of that.
Dude, I watched that.
It's about dudes they fucked.
It's like an anti-slut shaming podcast. She has millions of followers. Yeah, a few episodes beat like WTF, and she sells out 1,200 seat venues doing the Guys We Fucked experience. It's awesome.
So it's just live pods?
They actually changed it where it's not a podcast. At least when she explained it to me, it's not a podcast, but it is. But it's also not like just like them doing like an hour and a half of stand up. It's like this. It's the experience. You know, so I think they mix in comedy and show. I haven't seen it, but seems to be doing very well.
Man,
and that's how she kind of explained it to me.
that
Back
shit,
when we were
podcasts, you don't even realize, man, that shit is on the move. I'm doing this podcast. Plug. Shameless.
I'm all about shameless plugs.
But just like, and we're not even like a popular podcast like that, but we have people are coming out bringing me liquor to shows.
What's the podcast?
All Fantasy Everything with Ian Carmel and me and Sean.
Oh yeah,
Jordan.
I knew about this.
Yeah. We're it's going good.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy because people love podcasts.
Yeah, they do.
Like, I didn't know that. I guess I'm not a nerd or whatever. No.
Thanks for shitting on my fans. We're doing a podcast.
No, I just never. I'm so lame, dude. I'm not like up on hip stuff, so I never really like. I have like a couple rap podcasts I got, and that's just because like I heard about them so much.
Right.
And then like I have a couple comedy ones, but I never like seek out new ones really or anything.
Well, it's funny. I never. So I did marijuana radio for the longest time, and like that was my first thing with the podcast, right?
I remember the video, the Halloween.
Yep.
The Halloween video. Sam was a boxer.
Yep.
Yeah.
We did all kinds of stuff. It was very weird. It was very weird. But we had we had some. It was new. It was when podcasts were new, so we were like in the top 25 comedy podcasts forever. And then that show failed for various reasons. It shouldn't have. But that I never listened to podcasts since. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, people are getting famous off of the thing I did back in college?
Oh, man. You were too early.
And I offered to buy it from him because we had probably a 25,000 plus email list, like, you know, subscribers. And I offered to buy everything. I was like, let me just take over the lease on the studio and fucking I'll buy all the gear and I'll get a loan and let me just do that. Because I could see where this was going.
Right.
And he said no. And then I was like, all right, well, I quit. I'm going to just go do comedy. And then I just didn't pay attention to it. Because I thought, because there was a lot of other marijuana podcasts in Denver. Because this was when medical stuff was just starting to get easy to acquire. Right? And
the good old days.
Like 8 years ago. 9 years ago. Yeah. And they had probably 3 or 4 different radio stations or like podcasts that had wanted to move their, like, hey, can we record in your studio? And I was like, why don't you just make marijuana radio the top of this pyramid of this business, and you have all of it's a network, and you have all of these fucking weed shows under you that just drive more traffic to our show. Right. And which is basically what everyone's doing now.
Yeah, there's so many networks now. And
I was like, that way the main show, ours, gets all this extra traffic for free. And then they get more people and we get more. It's a no-brainer. And then he didn't want to do that.
Man.
And so I just stopped. I quit, and he didn't sell it to me. I asked for the name, asked for the email. He wouldn't give me anything.
And then what happened to it?
It's been nothing now. He still owns the domain name and won't sell it.
What a dick. Uh-huh. Why does he hate
and
you
now
so
he
much?
He hates the idea of it because he runs now. Check this out. He runs a podcast, like a videocast podcast for marijuana sobriety.
Ha!
And addiction to marijuana.
Damn!
How about that? Right. Fucking crazy.
Shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real.
Man.
Yeah, it's
that is a wacky story.
Yeah. So
that would be a great movie.
Probably could be.
Yeah, it'd be a great. What are you talking about? That's a fantastic story.
You should have seen how he freaked out too. It was movie like. It was epic. Check this out. He We were at this giant marijuana convention in Denver at the convention, the one with the Blue Bear, the center.
Yeah.
And
Where they have Comic-Con and whatnot.
Yep, it's fucking huge. He doesn't show up to the first day, so it's just me and McKenna, just there alone. We have stuff, but not really.
And he's not there?
He just didn't show up because he's having a mental breakdown.
Oh, shit.
And then he comes down. He's so angry at this dude who set up this show or this convention. For some reason, I can't remember why. But he's so mad at him that day 2, he drives down from where he lived, going 100 plus miles, apparently, flying down there, road raging. Storms into the fucking convention, throws a CD at him for some reason. I don't know why.
Hit him with that CD.
And then just starts creating this giant scene. Cops have to fucking take him out, escort him out and everything. Oh yeah. And that's when me and McKenna and I were like, all right, I think we're done here.
Yeah, okay, I get it.
I think we're done here.
McKenna, that was Rogers' ex?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Also inside baseball. I understand.
Up until that point, it got real. It was still very on the surface, but that's the extent of my podcast experience. And then I mean, you see it now, and it's a fucking industry.
It's
crazy.
It's crazy. They have podcast festivals.
Yeah, I just saw that actually. That there's a podcast festival.
Seems like it would be lame.
It seems like it's a lot
or
of
maybe
listening.
It's fun.
Like sitting down and being quiet.
It doesn't seem like it would. I guess you could hang out with people from other. Oh man, I don't know, dude.
Dude, it's becoming a thing, and I think it's so accessible for people on their phone. It's not a lot of data. It's not it's just a thing that they're going to work. They have an hour.
It's back to radio, man.
Yeah. But it's new radio.
It's new radio.
It's great,
which is cool. It's just talk radio. We just want to hear. We just want to hear people feel shit.
We just want to hear people we love talk about shit that they hate.
Dude, I think it's like people are lonely. This is weird, but I really feel like a lot of podcast popularity is because people are really lonely.
I might want to edit that part out.
But it's true, man.
Well,
the
is
internet,
it that they're lonely, or is it that they don't go communicate with other people, like they don't reach out anymore?
I mean, the internet makes us feel weirdly isolated.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like, I think that there is like a loneliness in that. And I think that just hearing people who like to talk to each other makes you feel involved in that. And that makes you feel less lonely, I think. Okay. I don't think it's like a shameful thing.
You don't?
No. I don't know, man. Some people are tall, some people are fat, some people are lonely. I don't know. Some people can't read, dude.
Yeah.
Brent's editing out this whole section.
I am making a note right now. I might keep it in just because the big laugh we have there, but it's, please keep downloading our podcast and listening as we just fucking... I think people are lonely.
Oh, man. I get it.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Hey, everybody, quick interjection on this one. I do want everyone to know that I most certainly listened to this and felt that was hilarious enough to leave it all in. So I did. So, hope you enjoyed it. But I don't think you're lonely. I think people like to be in their own head sometimes and don't necessarily want to listen to music. So, we got podcasts. Fuck yeah.
Do you usually record this stoned?
No.
Yeah, I bet.
But yesterday and today I did because I had Sharpie on yesterday.
You gotta get stoned with Sharpie.
Yeah, and
he
so,
loves it so much.
And then I was like, we're probably gonna get high now. That's why I switched over to the CBD weed though, so I wouldn't get too high.
Yeah.
But I think we've smoked enough in the day that it's like, okay, I'm actually high.
And I was smoking weed before I got here.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this story.
Get into it. You have got to do it.
We have two fantastic stories.
This is gonna be so
very
edited.
Weird. They're both in California. I just moved here. I'm excited to be in California, so we have some good stories for the California Dreamers. This is coming from
Wait, like the DACA recipients? is that a huge part of your listenership? Is DACA Dreamers? Yeah, I get a lot of single moms, a lot of DACA Dreamers. They love information. It's crazy. You should hold mixers. You know what I mean? Get some of those DACA kids full-time citizenship.
Come on in.
You know what I'm talking about? Them single moms.
Hey girl.
Fuck
hey.
you, Trump.
I do like single moms. It's weird.
It is not weird. It's healthy.
Is it?
Somebody's got to.
It's true.
If anybody deserves a good time, it's a single mom.
That's for
Like,
goddamn sure.
sexually. If anyone deserves an uninhibited sexual night, it is a single
Both
mom.
I Am Your Man and hit me up, information.news.
Yeah. He gives her the work email. He can't commit, ladies. He can't commit. Hey, you ladies want to fuck? You can come by my office.
Oh man. I'm in the west wing of the Scientology building.
Yeah.
Oh God. All right. To the news.
To the news.
To the news. We're doing it. This week in California, in Southern California, which is where we are,
South Carolina.
South Cali, they were. Again, this is the headline from the Washington Post here. Semen-contaminated flutes might have been given to children, and California school officials warn. So we all remember flutes, right? From when, or like those
The
dumb
recorders,
recorders, like those
yeah.
recorders that every school. Which, by the way, does the recorder industry have like the best lobbyist in Washington?
I think that it's all a good old boy scam.
It
for
has
sure.
to be, because those can't cost more than a nickel to make.
For sure. That shit is a fucking
You
scam
throw it away immediately.
it was like a mediocre flute maker's company.
Made too many of them.
Yeah, and then he fucked like the wife of like, you know what I mean? Like it's just some weird backdoor Southern shit.
Everyone has to have recorders.
Yeah,
That's every
we have
school
to teach
child.
all the children
Hot
for
cross
some
buns.
reason.
We have to teach them hot
Why do
cross
we all need to know that? That's so dumb.
Because if you can make a recorder sound good, then you're gonna be
You're
the
an
next.
American?
You're gonna be the next.
You're gonna be a good little learner. What a weird thing to teach all the children.
Every one of them.
And it's a stupid it's not even like it was, it's not like a sacred American instrument that we've played for years and years and a signifier of our culture.
Definitely
it's
not.
just a shitty cereal box flute
Yeah.
that we just all
It's
have
the
to
prize
get good
and a Cracker
at.
Jack. They're like, oh, cool,
Yeah.
look at what we got. And the parents fucking hate them.
It's so dumb.
Drums and the recorder are the two most annoying instruments for parents to have bought their children.
Oh my God. Also probably that triangle would suck.
Although I don't know a parent that would ever buy their child like that's just setting the bar of like of your expectations so low.
I want you to be great, king or queen. That's how I talk to my kid. I want you to be great, king. I want you to be great, queen. I can't have you out here. You will not play the triangle in this.
Are you not the king though? Like when they be the prince?
No, I want him to be his own king.
Okay.
I'm not into this.
You're Mufasa,
I'm Mufasa, but then go take that Simba shit over down the road. Do your own thing, bro. And then we'll both be kings. I don't want to just give you my shit. You gotta go get some cool shit.
Go get your own.
Then it's all our shit. David Gborie on Family.
So, all right. Anytime family talk comes up with me, I'm like, I'm out. I can't talk about families. I get very angry.
I can tell you're fidgeting now.
Let's talk about these jizz-covered recorders here in Southern California. So apparently, what happened was there were 23. So there are 13 school districts. I think about 2,300 flutes that may have been contaminated with bodily fluid. Which, if you look at this picture, look at how many of these recorders there are.
That's a. So it wasn't like one batch.
That's from So that's from one
like,
school that they delivered to one school.
He was just coming on all of them.
Apparently.
This sounds.
I would think that there was a big batch and he just kind of flung it about. But here's my question: is how did they find out?
This sounds like fake as. This sounds like
Washington Post.
But I mean, this sounds like somebody's trying to fuck this dude over.
You think so?
I mean, I don't know, man. It's just really weird.
Right?
Know? It's just like he would like, why would you even play that close?
Well, so here's what happened is this guy comes around the Santa Clara area and they said, where is it? The performer distributes the flute-like instrument, so it's the recorder during these music lessons, and it was a random dude who worked for Flutes Across America.
Oh, that guy's been coming on stuff. What do you do?
He's just like a Flutes Across America.
I work for
You're
Flutes.
jacking off of them flutes. Oh,
yeah,
for sure, 100%.
That is the creepiest job to have ever. Oh, I would imagine your fucking poor mom
has to pay for that recorder.
Also, your poor mom. What does Brent do for a living now? Oh, funny you should ask. He teaches Flutes Across America. We're very proud.
He really enjoys touching hearts through mouths.
Oh yeah, no, my son, the traveling flute salesman, he's fine.
The traveling flute salesman. He sounds like a night walker.
I know, dude. What a freak.
Oh, god damn. What's his name? Glenn? Yeah, definitely a Glenn with 2 N's.
And he's blonde and thin.
He has a snake collection at his house.
Yeah. He wears one of those European man purses.
Oh, God.
But also like a wolf t-shirt.
Oh, man. I can just imagine he his hair is like greased back.
Yeah, he slicks
long.
it back. Blonde ponytail's a bad look.
So they're still investigating this dude, and they said, don't worry, the presenters at the school were never alone with the kids. So they had to find an indirect way, I guess, to do it.
So is this dude just getting off that these kids are playing his cum flutes?
I mean, I
don't understand.
I would love.
Or was he fucking somebody one time and shot on some flutes and it's a jilted
humping
lover?
on flutes like a workplace affair?
A jilted lover, like she's like, oh yeah, motherfucker, I'm gonna tell these motherfuckers you come on those flutes. Because remember when you were fucking me on those flutes and you came on some of those flutes?
How, did they have to test one? Did a teacher put one up to her mouth, like, hold
Jeffrey.
up. I know this flavor. How did they know? And then how did they think to test it for semen first?
I think you always.
Or they tested for multiple things.
I think you always test for semen first and then work your way backwards.
That's the protocol.
That's the standard
operating procedure.
That's the standard bodily fluid test. All right, let's make sure this isn't cum, and then let's really try to figure it out.
Oh God!
And you know what? The surprising thing, usually it is just cum.
9 times out of 10,
it's just cum.
It's just cum. It's crazy.
Cum? I know, man.
I don't make up the stats. The stats make themselves.
I feel like we don't want to know. This is opening up a box I don't want to go down. I don't want to know how much stuff I interact with on the reg has come on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think this is a stat. Best left uncalculated.
Yeah, I'm not into this as much as I thought.
Yeah. Do you really want to open that up?
It's like finding out that the ice in a fast food machine is exposed to like the most amount of bacteria
Oh, yeah.
of all of it. And
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
the
like,
same.
why did you tell me that?
Yeah, I don't want to
Yeah. No.
So yeah, you don't want to. I don't think you want to, because we stay in hotels a lot.
A lot. I know a dude that sleeps with his nuts on the pillow, like a leg pillow, but he sleeps naked. And he said he actually marks that pillow with like a little X on the thing, on the tag. So when they come in and clean the room, and because he stays for like a weekend or a week for work, and so he knows which one is his nut pillow. Sweet, because they move them around and shit when they clean the room. So, yeah. And we don't stay in the best hotels either.
No, I'm not at the Four Seasons, dude. Like, there's cum all over that.
Although I would think there's a lot of cum at the Four Seasons as well, though.
That's true, because you're paying all that money.
You're like, I'm gonna come in this room.
You're lucky I'm not fucking coming on the bellhop on the way up. Kind of money I paid for this place. I'm coming in that plant.
Oh, I brought extra cum just to.
Where's your boss? I'm gonna come on your boss. I'm gonna come on your boss right now because I spent $3,000 on this room.
Oh man, yeah. Let's not talk about that.
I understand if you need to cut that out.
Oh, that part's staying for sure. Because I want everyone to hear how because I want to open their Pandora's box in their own mind and be like,
gosh.
oh God, how much cum is everywhere?
You're the devil.
I know, it's great. This California-based group, Flutes Across America, was founded in 2009.
Oh, what a scam!
Oh man.
This dude just invented flute. It's not even old. It's not even, man.
It led music missions in Haiti, Philippines, Honduras, and Native American reservations. What? Wait.
So did the Pied Piper. And he was eating those kids or whatever.
Right?
I don't know what he was doing, actually.
They sent flute ambassadors to Nepal.
Yeah, no, your brother Chuck.
His card says flute ambassador.
You remember my little brother Chucky? Yeah, he's a flute ambassador. Yeah, just kid goes all around the world selling flutes. I know, kid.
Oh, God.
He's a flute. You got to tell people that.
Their Facebook site has been taken down, too.
Oh, yeah, no.
Twitter account remains publicly visible as of Sunday. And the last tweet was dated 8/21.
What's the last tweet?
The last tweet
I love coming on these flutes.
It was an array of colorfully decorated flutes that were supposed to be sent from the U.S. to the Philippines.
Probably covered in cum.
Most likely.
But still, I don't understand. Have we found out how they found out?
No.
I
think the taste test is still the number one, or the smell test.
This is so sus. This is so suspect.
All right, I'm gonna search this real quick on Snopes because Snopes is normally pretty good with this.
Okay, because I just feel like, yeah, I think this is a frame job, dude.
You think so?
I really think it's a frame job.
Why?
Because unless he was caught in the act, like, it had to be somebody. I don't understand how they figured it out unless somebody said, hey, this guy is doing this.
Dude, it's on the... So I typed in specifically to search site Snopes, which busts all this shit, and it just comes up with the Chicago Tribune, the OC Register, I don't know what that is, Global News, the LA Times.
Okay.
It's not. I think this is real.
No, I know, but I mean,
How?
how did they find out?
Okay, let's find out.
I think that there was cum on the flutes. I just mean, how did they find out? I guess I'm not saying it's a frame job, but I'm saying this guy has probably been getting away. Like
He's been jacking off on flutes for too long.
Someone was scorned or something, I think, man.
Like they walked in on him and had that dirt, and they were gonna hold it until
Or
the right
something.
time.
Like he fucked up in some way, and somebody dropped this bomb. Is what I think.
May have been contaminated with bodily fluids. Local, state, and federal agencies. So he visited the school. Oh, I'm sorry. Flutes across the world.
Ha!
That's what it's called. The world traveling flute salesman.
Man.
All right, let's check the actual
we gotta
school
see.
district. So it's Saugus, Saugus Union School District.
Okay. They've got investigation. Let's see.
Whoa! Look at the charts of where they.
Oh, where the cum is? Oh man. Dude.
When
I'd be so pissed. You send your fucking kid to school, right? Like,
trusting these motherfuckers.
yeah. And you motherfuckers can't keep cum out of my son's mouth.
That's your one. That's like one of the main
That's
jobs.
your job.
Is to keep cum out of my son's
The
mouth.
whole reason I send my daughter to you is so she won't have cum in her mouth.
And what do? You just up and put cum in her mouth.
You fucking assholes.
How will we receive status updates? Where did we take the flutes? Where should we worried about how?
I mean, I like this one because I'm not at risk at all.
Right. You haven't played a flute in years. But how do you know that the flutes weren't around back then? The cum flutes were back then.
That's true. I bet you somebody was coming on them back then. God, we used to have like a big box of them.
I don't know.
No, we bought them. Didn't you buy one?
By the way, the United States Postal Service is the lead law enforcement agency investigating this. The USPS, the post office.
Oh, because they don't like cum slipping through their ranks either.
No one's gonna ship cum on our watch.
Yeah, we promised that to Teddy Roosevelt back during the Pony Express days.
I don't think it says how did they find out.
That is suspect, dude.
I want to know how they found out.
That does not sound suspect to you?
That does now that you're bringing it up.
Now that fucking, nobody knows how it happened? Come on, man. I smell a frame up.
This is one of several arts organizations sponsored the program, but my kids have, one parent says, my kids have brought these flutes home. they're putting them in, they're putting their mouths on it, and they're playing with these instruments.
It almost feels like that guy deserves it. No. That's your listen, I mean, once again, I revert back to the cum test.
Now I'm fascinated in this and how they found this out.
Yeah, I feel like they're not saying it because the news is shady. You know what I mean?
Fuck.
How did this happen? How did we get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. For all of
It
you
doesn't fucking say it, dude.
For all you guys listening, by the way, this is why you gotta check your fucking news, man.
And that's always why you want to carry Clorox wipes before putting something in your mouth.
Bleach it all down.
Bleach it off.
Don't trust anybody. Not your kid's sister. Not your neighbor's dog.
I don't know, dude.
That's sketchy.
I don't know.
See? I don't.
Maybe it was a leak from the inside.
I don't fuck with this story. I think that this is bullshit.
You think so?
I think.
Well, if anyone,
I don't think that it's bullshit. I just think
there's more. There's more
lot
information.
Well, there's a lot more at play. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe even a conspiracy. I don't know. But there just seems to be, that's very strange that there's no report of how they found, not that we did that much research.
I read the article.
But yeah,
I clicked on it. But I also
didn't-
don't think the school district's going to put, hey, this is how we found out.
Why not?
Because
That's new. What?
how, I mean, see, how would they, like, do they just have a random
Prevention.
semen test like how TSA has the random searches?
Did they just randomly test one of these flutes for cum? Like they had to get a hot tip. You don't just get that shit in there and be like, man, I wonder if these flutes got cum on them. You know what I'm saying? Like there was some reason to test these recorders for cum. You don't just go do that.
Well,
Which I'm saying
I might do a
somebody
little
must
more
have
research on
dimed
it.
him out.
yeah.
Which means he probably scorned someone or something.
You know what? You've been jacking off of these flutes for too long. You're going down, buddy.
You've been jacking off on these. I've sat by
For too long.
Too long.
Too quiet for too long. You know, I don't like jacking off quiet either, but we have to.
Oh my goodness, that's super
Wow.
ridiculous.
All right, let's move to our next story. Let's move up to Berkeley, California.
Burketown.
Burketown. The
Nobody
Berkeley.
calls it that.
We
I don't
do.
know why I did. We do now.
Fuck yeah, we do, dog. And we're making this show, dude. Do you know how many downloads this show gets? Enough to make that a thing
2,500.
in a private school
25,000?
in one class. in a
250,000?
private school. Yep, there it is.
You get $250,000
No.
dollars.
We get like 50.
Oh, okay. 50. Next thing you know, 500. Next thing you know, 5,000.
And then after that,
It's a good place to flex.
million.
That's a lot of people.
I think we already know where this is going. This is cashed.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's start our next story.
All right. Next story.
Next story. Berkeley, California. Berkeley police seize $1 million worth of mushrooms.
Boomer.
Boomtown. Magic shrooms, if you don't know what that is, the ones that make you cry a little bit right after you start throwing up, and then you trip your balls off.
Good times.
And if you look at these shrooms, man, these are some hardy-looking booms.
Man, that is what
Right?
those are the shrooms?
Those are the shrooms.
Man, these guys were putting in work.
Yeah, right? Right?
Those are
They
serious.
look so gross.
They're just big.
And
Like
they're brown
Yeah,
and they
they're
look...
like not even all dried out yet.
Ugh. Yeah. So here's what happened. Police were called and they were dispatched to a domestic disturbance. A couple was fighting in their house, and I guess neighbors called or something like that. And when the cops got there, they came in, and in plain sight was just growing shrooms, packaging shroom, like
Yeah.
all 700 pounds of mushrooms were confiscated. 700 pounds. That is
That took my breath away.
so. If you don't know mushrooms, typically the dose you'll take
yeah.
is like a half. So it's like 1.75 a gram and a half, like grams, or a gram and a half, an eighth at most. I've incidentally done a quarter.
I was
when
just
I
gonna
was in
say,
college.
everybody has that quarter
We had
story.
yeah, and it was it was intense. I had to kick
I
my
like
roommate
doing
out.
too much mushrooms over too much acid, though.
Yeah,
I don't like doing too much.
too much acid can be a little tough.
Yeah, man, it's too much for me, dude. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, it just, especially
My
if
brain, oh god.
Yeah, especially if I do acid like late at night. Like one time I just took this acid from this hippie in front of a bar at last call, and then it was just, oh god, those
Whoa,
couple hours before sunrise were brutal.
I bet.
Yeah, everybody was asleep.
And you're just fucking wound up, on,
Fucking
tripping your balls off.
Tripping balls. And then I make the choice in the dark to watch that Joaquin Phoenix movie.
Oh,
I'm Still Here.
oh,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, it was not a good experience.
It's times like that really test your brain. You're like, I think I can do this.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
if I can beat that, I think
Yeah.
I'm all right.
I think that's about as far out as I've ever been on the island. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Wow.
Oh, also, I guess doing that fucking salvia shit back in the day. Oof.
Really?
You remember that shit?
No, I never did it.
Oh, God. Dude, it was gnarly. You would just go away for 5 minutes or whatever.
Whoa.
Like, you're just... Like, I can't even explain it, but...
Have you done DMT?
No, I've never done DMT.
I did it once, and I'm excited / scared to do it again.
Really?
I'm definitely going to do it again.
Was it a lot of realizations?
No, I didn't break through like I wanted to.
Yeah.
I was smoking out of a pipe instead of... I think next time I'll smoke out of a bong, so I can just, like, fucking guarantee that I do it correct. But you have to take 3 hits. No matter how big they are. Like, you can't have the quantity of 3. You got to, like, have 3 in and outs. And it was like an explosion of colors. It kind of reminded me of a little bit of like the Big Lebowski too.
Yeah.
And you can kind of tell and I had a mask on because I did it with like this shaman in Boulder.
I'm not mad at you.
And she has since moved, but she I think I don't know.
Shout out to Shaman Christie.
Yeah. So I had that on and I had music playing and she had like these tone bells. It was fucking awesome.
Nice.
It was, but she's like, if you see a door, go through it. Like do your best, go through it. And I did, but every time I reached for it, I'd lose it. So I just got to do it again because I've been talking to Shane Moss. So I've had Shane Moss come and do the Boulder show and he's done some special events there.
Yeah.
In that venue and he did his DMT talk. And it was so interesting. Really? That I'm just like, I want to see if I can... Because it seems to me like it's a world that everyone has access to. And like when you go into it, you leave your footprints. And everyone is trying to connect to it more and more. That world is kind of, changing or whatever. But there was a time when his buddy, he was helping him out with the trip. And he had... his buddy was like, I did too much, and he pulled his headphones off and he's like, I did too much. And Shane was like, it's gonna be cool, like you'll be fine. It's and apparently the creatures and animals in this world heard Shane's voice and popped out and was like, wait, is that Shane? And there was this one person, this purple goddess that has a lot of folks have seen this person. He did not tell him about it at all. And he's like, yo, they really like you down here. And he's like, yeah, it's a very friendly place. And he's like, no, they like you down here. Like Shane. And then afterwards he was talking to him about it and he described that purple lady and Shane had never told him about this. And he's like, whoa. So I want to go down there and be like, hey, do y'all know Shane? Like, is this like, I want to fuck with it and see what'll happen. Because in 15 minutes, it's like you're right back to normal.
This is really far out. I just want you to know, I feel like this podcast has become...
This did take a left turn.
I think it's very cool that you're doing that, and all that makes me really want to try DMT.
It's pretty sweet.
I just had to acknowledge that this is... We can't see the shore, now we're in it. Hanging out with purple goddesses.
Yeah.
Who knows Shane Moss?
Yeah. Dude. Right?
That's crazy.
Right? Ayahuasca. So DMT is the main thing in ayahuasca, which I think you probably heard of, right?
Yes, yeah.
But instead of like that elongated thing, it's like it's a shortened thing, and DMT is made a couple different ways, and there's like a petrol extracted way, which is a much harsher way to do it, like, and it's a harsher trip. And there's this other way that she does it, and it's just a much calmer, smoother, and it really was very peaceful. It was intense, but it was at no point was I like, oh boy. Yeah. Which I kind of want to see what that's like. Because apparently if you smoke too much, some people have said it seems like you just, and again, a lot of people have talked about this, about how it seems like about how this world is, and everyone's like account of it is pretty similar. Right. When they're in this world. And it is kind of and their experiences are kind of the same too. But apparently, a few people have like it seemed like you popped your head out of a hatch, like out of the Truman Show hatch, and you looked around and saw the real world, like, oh fuck, and the real world was like, whoa, 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 what are you doing? You're not supposed to be here, and you're like, I gotta go, and then you close the hatch back down. Like it's very weird.
Really?
There's a lot of research out there on
some
DMT.
Some people are able to enter in.
Correct. Well, if you smoke enough, you'll get there. But I've heard most people, it seems like you get into this world of just nothingness. Like like the Matrix when they're in that white room.
Yeah.
Like you kind of get there, and then you just start creating your world around you. Like it basically destructs your mind, and then you fragment your computer hard drive back into shape, like back into the experience. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's pretty cool.
But that's if you can't break through.
If you don't break through, it's a bunch of colors and clouds, and it's just like, whoa, this is fucking.
Yeah.
It's like the Big Lebowski scene where it plays that Bob Dylan song.
Oh,
Takes a woman like you, and he's just floating through the sky and cloud and but with colors, and man, it was intense. And it was like Alice in Wonderland meets Big Lebowski scene on top of intenseness.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty cool. And it only lasts 15 minutes. And you're back. And you're not hungover.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, whoa. I need to think about that for a second. It's pretty cool. Well, we got through this story pretty well.
Yeah, I think we really... Oh. Wow.
So back on the mushrooms, which it's not tripping like any hallucinogen you've done. It's not like mushrooms. It's not like acid, but it kind of is. But it's not at all. It's weird. Check out Shane Moss's show if you can. It's very interesting. So back to Berkeley. They basically responded in, and they were going to let everyone go, and because the couple was detained and everything, and they wanted to see if anyone else was in the house. So they just walked in the house, and they had growing shrooms, drying shrooms, packaged shrooms, packing materials, all of that shit, and they had about 3,000 in cash, and this place was probably growing mushrooms for the state, or like the whole like that seems like so many mushrooms.
Probably the connect for everybody,
for so many people.
Probably through the Southwest.
Yeah,
because I mean, how many dealers even buy a pound of
a mushroom? Right, exactly.
You know, I'm pretty sure they buy them by the zip for sure.
Yeah,
so like
that's fucking crazy.
And it's like, think about how scarce mushrooms are usually.
It's gonna be a lot more scarce now.
Oh, dude. Oh, shit. I didn't even think about that.
Uh-huh. That's Berkeley. That's around here.
Man, hold on to your boomers, friends.
Yeah, right?
Now would be the time
to buy a bunch if you can.
Oh, man. Yeah, if some dude's giving you a deal on a quarter, go get that shit.
You're going to need that.
I might have to make some of my own moves. What day did this happen?
This happened. This article came out the end of September, so September 26th. So this probably happened a little bit before then.
Oh, there's still some time, guys.
You can do this. Get it.
Get it.
I just got to release this up. I have to release this episode in time. For this podcast has been very interesting. Yeah, Norby doesn't get this weird, but I kind of like that.
I like it too. It's just gone everywhere.
That's the glory of a podcast. Like the live shows, I love that show, but you have to stay focused.
Right.
This show, you can do whatever you want.
We can just
talk about drugs.
Purple goddesses.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And stocking mushrooms. Did you just text someone like, "Hey, by the way, can I?"
Also. What I was going to say about this mushrooms thing is so funny.
Yeah.
Because this happened to me one time. I guess I shouldn't say. I was at my friend's house in Elizabeth, and he lived in a trailer with his brother.
Okay.
And their parents didn't live there. It was gnarly.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Did their parents live close?
No, they lived in Los
Alamos?
Yeah. And we were in Elizabeth. His dad went down there to motorcycle school, and his mom went with him and just left them the trailer. And on the property.
And how old were these guys?
When his parents left, I think he was like, I want to say he was like a junior in high school or something.
Whoa.
And then his older brother was probably 19. 20.
Oh, okay. So one of them was
An adult. Yeah.
legally. What? What a shitty thing to do. Like, all right, we're done.
Yeah. But anyways, so fucking, I was at this dude's house and his older brother sold mushrooms.
Of course.
Yeah, first place I ever did mushrooms also in this trailer. But yeah, so his brother comes comes in with a gun. He's like, "We got to fucking move. We got to fucking move." And we're like, "What? What's going on?" He's like, "Chrissy just called the cops on my shit. Chrissy just called the cops on my shit." His ex-girlfriend told him that the cops were coming, and we had to pull out his mushroom operation from under his bed and in his closet and take it out behind the barn and like stash it because he thought the cops were coming.
But the cops weren't coming?
The cops did not come.
What a bitch.
Yeah.
Although less of a bitch than actually calling the cops.
Yeah. But that's what
That's
happens.
a hilarious move.
That's drug dealer love, man. I've seen that happen, or I've heard of that happening in multiple situations. It was just so funny because he had the gun out and we were like, "What, are you going to shoot us?" Like, he was just like hyped up, you know what I mean?
No, this is what I used to get you hyped up with me.
He was. You could tell he had just been like, because then I was thinking about it. Remember thinking, was he talking on the phone to his ex-girlfriend with his gun in his hand? Like,
he's scratching his head with it. He's like, "Okay, hold on." He's got the barrel of it.
he was kind of a motherfucker, dude. That guy, yeah.
Well, you would think so when you have no direction and you own a trailer park or home when your parents fucking leave it to you.
Dudes, though, like I hung out with those dudes a lot.
I went to a trailer park. So there's a dude in my high school who was younger than me, but his dad, like that's like where you went to go get fucked up.
Yeah.
But apparently his dad cooked meth and he sold meth, and he also sold weed and shit too, right?
Right.
So I only went to his house once to buy some weed with my friend, and he goes, "I'll give you." He goes, "Hey, you can have that eighth if you take one hit of this." I'm not joking. You hit a bong with meth on it, and it was so out of a commercial.
Gotta do it though.
But I didn't.
Oh, you didn't do it.
No, I was like, I'm all right, and I put the money down. I was like, we gotta go, and we left, and then a couple weeks later,
weird tweaker
that
shit.
fucking that his trailer got raided by the cops. Dad got arrested. Yeah, it was fucking weird.
Dude, tweakers, man.
Tweakers are weird.
That's like such
weird... I can pride myself on never doing meth.
I snorted meth one time. It was not cool.
Ugh. Was it just a gross high?
Yeah, it feels dirty.
Ugh.
It feels all dirty. I don't get the allure.
I watched my roommate snort meth. Not my current one, way back in the day. Before we were roommates, actually.
And then you were like, "This guy, I gotta live with. We are gonna have some wild and crazy times."
Oh man. I think that's good. I think we have talked. We have such a interesting show. This one. I don't really want to add anything else to it.
I don't know what you could even. Yeah, what a weird podcast that was.
It's a good change to what we do.
We changed the pace up a little bit.
We will get you back on the show, and we'll have a different.
We'll do
outcome.
it for real.
Well, we kind of did it.
We did it. We just got real high.
We got real sidetracked real quick.
Oh man, we talked about all of it.
Well, all right. Well, David, thank you for stopping in. Anything that you want our listeners to know? Your podcast. What was that again?
Oh, yeah. Check us out on iTunes. It's called All Fantasy Everything. Ian Carmel, Sean Jordan, and myself. We have people on and we draft. We fantasy draft random topics.
Okay.
So like cities you like to spend a weekend in, music videos you want to live forever in.
Gotcha.
Yada, yada, yada.
Gotcha. Cool. Follow you online?
On Twitter @the G is silent. And on Instagram is cool guy jokes 87.
You sounded so disappointed when you said, just the look on your face when you're like, and on Instagram, ugh, god damn it, I have to say this.
I didn't think it was going to last. fuck me, right?
At Cool Guy Jokes 87. Links in the description to our stories. Thanks for tuning into our show. We release new episodes every single Tuesday on your favorite podcast platform. Please subscribe to us and they'll download automatically. If we are not on your platform, let us know and we will get there immediately. Also, if you got stories that you think are hilarious that you want read on our show, send them over to me to our Facebook page if you want there. That's facebook.com/Infomation, spelled INFAUX, or hit us up, information.news@gmail.com. Thanks to Sexpot Comedy for putting this out in the ether. Those are all the commercials. Love you guys. We'll see you next week. Good night.